Hey, Mike, you like free shit, right?
You know I do, Jake.
Well, man, have you heard about Anchor? It is by far the easiest way to make a podcast. So let me explain. There are creation tools that they allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, so it is super, super easy to use.
You're right, Jake. It makes it super easy to distribute your podcast from all the podcatchers like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
Allie, another important thing to note is, did you know that it's free? And it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Jake, Allie, and Mike, that was a great advertisement.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, this is Kevin, the silent producer with Customer States. Just adding a little more to this extra medium segment of my first car story. So to start this off, of course, we are going to crack them. So crack them. Always love that. So I'm on a hand microphone, so in case you hear any muffled noises or stuff, that's my hands.
We really need sponsorship.
Yeah, we need sponsorship.
You guys can reach out to
microphone.
us and donate to us. Anything that you give us is going to help make this podcast that you're obviously enjoying
Even
that
better.
much better. So please don't be shy. Reach out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll sing at your birthday.
That's true.
Yeah,
We're
so
all great singers, Jake.
oh yeah, we're fucking fantastic.
Fuck!
I'm
Jake is
classically
the
trained.
I bring
Jake's
this
the-
microphone with me. It's fucking great.
Jake's the only one of us who's not like tone deaf.
So my first car was a 2000 Chevy S10
Nice.
Ooh.
V6.
2000.
fancy.
I think it was the
So new.
4.7 liter V6.
No.
4.3 liter.
There you go.
4.3 liter Vortec. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. it was white. It was I think I had like a air adjustable suspension in the rear, so it had like little bike hose hookups, so I could get
It was just
more
for like
to the
air
shock.
shocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What more do you need to know there, bud?
The key feature that really sold me on it was it had a shitty fiberglass tonneau cover, and it was like the bare minimum to be qualified as a tonneau cover. But that comes
What is that?
in-
Okay, I'm sorry.
A
What
tonneau
does that
cover is
mean?
just where it covers the bed. It's not a shell where
Okay,
there's
so it's not up over the bed. It's
Correct.
just covering the
it's
bed
just a flat piece that flaps down
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
hydraulic arms.
I got you.
Yeah, that would come into play in my childhood. But yeah, so I got this
What?
truck. It was awesome. I think the first day I got it, I picked up a buddy of mine and decided to go cruising down Russell Ranch, which
Yep.
was behind the Target when they were building Target.
Oh, wow.
Or
Wait,
before they were building Target.
Wait,
Cruising
how-
down the
how-
street in my S10.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Stuffing the
Okay,
bitches
yeah, so-
into the trunk.
So I went to school in Montana for 10th grade, and at that school I got my driver's
I
license.
never, I never fucking knew that.
I went to school
didn't
for
know that
18.
either.
I was in
Revelations.
Montana for 18 months.
No
from
shit.
10th to 11th
Holy
grade.
shit. Alrighty.
Yeah.
See, this podcast is even good for me.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all learned
Yeah.
something.
The more you know. Yeah. So in Montana, you can get your permit and your driver's license in the same day. And the driver's test
What?
is you go to the courthouse. I was in Trout Creek, Montana, which is a blip on a highway.
In the middle of nowhere, next to
It's
nothing.
literally like there's a sign that's like next stop Trout Creek. You pass that stop, it's like thanks for visiting Trout Creek.
Holy shit.
And so we went to the courthouse and I got my learner's permit and drove around with one of the teachers at the school for the day in a Econoline E350 16 passenger van.
my God.
Holy shit.
which was fucking fantastic in the snow. So I learned how to drive real quick. And then I decided, hey, let's go, I think it was the next day. I was like, hey, let's go do the driver's test. So I took my driver's test and it was drive around the courthouse and quote unquote parallel park. But there were no cars to parallel park. So they just had you kind of like pretend
Pull up
like
to
you were
the curb.
parallel park.
Just watch out, these two pine cones in the street.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was just like,
You see this snowbank and that snowbank? There's your car.
yeah, it was like just back up to the curb and park. I was
Yep.
like, all right, cool. So I got my license. Anyway, so I came back to California, and in California at the time, all you had to do was just, if you have an out-of-state license, you go and take the written test. And if you can pass that,
You're
hey, but
done.
guess what, buddy? You got a driver's license. So I was like 16 and had a driver's license, and I was driving to my driver's ed classes and just
Oh my
being a
God.
complete shithead.
Yeah.
As kids tend to be.
So you, me, or excuse me, I'm pointing like people can see. Mike, me, and Kevin.
Jake is pointing at Mike, which is me.
Oh, God. So we all got our license at 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as soon as we fucking could, except
On,
for Alan.
Except for
on my
me, I was
birthday,
18.
on my birthday, I got my license. I went down to the DMV on my birthday.
Because all the dudes like you guys in my life drove me around everywhere.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
why
the
did I
fuck
need
are you
a
doing
car?
this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I got a car. It was
I
driving
gave
girls
gas
around.
money.
Exactly. It's like-
I gave gas money.
Personally, I just wanted to go to the
I mean,
grocery store
Allie,
for
it
my
is
mom.
gas or grass.
No one rides
so-
for free.
But yeah, so anyway, so I had my license at a super young age. So I picked up my buddy when I got my S10, and I was like, hey, let's go drive this thing real quick. So we're going like 85 miles an hour in the truck, and it was a powerful truck, and it was fun. We're cruising, and we come flying around this corner, and sure as shit, there's a cop car
Uh-huh.
coming the other direction. So I'm like, oh fuck it! I'm like, I'm gonna get my license taken away the first day I have this truck, and all this shit, and nothing ended up happening. But yeah, that was the not prerequisite, but kind of the foreshadowing for my ownership of this S10.
What the future holds for you and your S10.
Yeah. So I fancy myself a bit of an off-road enthusiast, and even at a young age,
Do you fancy yourself?
I fancy myself. So even at a young
I agree.
age,
I concur.
right?
Yeah.
And I
Calm
was like,
down, Squirrely Kevin.
there's this street called Canaan. It's off the 101, and it leads
No
into,
one knows where that is.
Yeah, it leads into Malibu and PCH.
We already went
and
into
it's-
Decker. Like,
yeah.
what does it
So
matter now?
off Canaan, there used to be these crazy motorcycle jumps that me and my buddy, I used to live kind of near there, and we'd ride our bikes over there with shovels and modify the jumps, and dirt bikers would come there and make berms, and it was really cool. There's tabletops and all kinds of crazy shit.
Do hood rat shit with your friends.
You do hood rap. Yeah, exactly. We were BMXing, they were motocrossing, whatever. So when I got my truck, I was like, oh, dude, I got a truck. It's a fucking truck. I can go off-road with this shit. And I know this track, like, no problem, So we're cruising, and I'm young and dumb and whatever. And
The other thing that follows
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
And so we're cruising along, and it's me and, I don't know, some fucking idiot I had in the truck. And we're supposed to be in school at this time, I think. And so we're cruising around, and we're fucking hitting the berms and fishtailing and, doing whoops and shit. And the track is dirt. And the way that it was a cloudy day and the dirt and all that, I couldn't see exactly what was going on in front of me.
Sounds safe.
Needless to
Again.
say, I hit something pretty fucking hard at about 45 miles an hour.
Fuck yeah.
This
Fuck
truck,
yeah.
this truck is to quote Mike Sarah, this truck is a bone stock S10.
Bing, 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 bing,
Yeah.
bing.
Bone stock S10. I mean, it's on like the tiger paw tires that come with the S10.
Holy
I mean,
shit,
like
those are
the fucking
cheap.
yeah,
Those
it's
are cheap.
Lionheart.
it's dog shit. And so we hit this thing, and the S10, the nose goes, I think it's like a whoop, but it was more of like a jump. And at 40, the nose hits the jump, bounces off the jump. The tail of the tail of the truck hits the ground, and then that catapults the front back into the ground.
Hell yeah.
And so it's like this crazy like and we're in the truck, and we're all wearing seatbelts. Me and my buddy are wearing seatbelts, but our heads hit the fucking top of the truck, and it's like, oh my fuck, and I'm like, oh, okay, like the truck, does it still move? Driving out of this place, I'm like, oh shit.
God.
So,
fuck.
and not to interrupt you, speaking of that whole seatbelt thing that he just fucking said,
Yeah.
your car, like how it's like, okay, I'm going to hit this fucking jump at fucking 40 and it will probably break my spine. Seatbelts don't lock up. But you're coming around to turn on an on-ramp at 30 miles per hour and you want to look over your fucking shoulder. It's like, nah, bro, this is too unsafe. I'm going to lock you into place.
It's all about inertia.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to with seatbelts.
Okay, talking
it still
about
pisses me
Oh, it's a
off.
fucking pain in the ass. Yeah.
Fuck.
talking about locking you into place and you telling that story. I used to go like again 17, 18 with my friend Josh, who had a Toyota Tundra at the time, and I would sit
Tundra at the time.
anyways, I would sit in the middle seat and he would hold down on my head because we would be like, no, I don't mean it like that.
Wait, hold on.
No, that sounds so much worse.
Wait, to quote Archer, phrasing.
Not my farm, not my pig.
No, but we
And this is why you have to have a girl on a podcast.
and this is when Allie quit customer service.
What's the flag rate on that?
Back flag.
No.
Full back flag. No tie.
But I need those hours.
He held my head down, off quote.
No, because we would be like off-roading, and so he I had the lap belt. And so he would like make sure that my head didn't fucking hit the ceiling when he was like going over the whoops and shit. So anyways, you ruined it. Fucking what's your story?
No, I want to hear more.
No, it's over. You ruined
So there I
it.
was at the bike jumps.
Holy
It's gotta
shit.
be
What
as
happened
quick
at
as
the
I,
bike
and he
jumps,
fucked
Kevin?
it.
So there I was at the bike jumps, and my truck is making some really fucking weird noises, and it's low on power, and we're next to a McDonald's, and so I decided like, all right, cool, we're gonna pull off here. I'm gonna like drive up this little road a bit, and we're gonna go to the McDonald's, and I'll fucking suss out what's going on. So
Sus.
I'm 16 years old. I don't know shit about fucking cars.
Look where he ended up, though.
Still not knowing shit about fucking cars.
Oh, come on,
Not
dude. Give
true.
yourself a little bit more credit.
And so I open up the hood, I'm 16 years old. I open up the hood. I'm like looking around. I'm like, well, the battery's still there.
I checked the engine. It's still there. I don't know what the lights
check engine
for.
lights on. So I checked the engine. The fucking, it's still there. We're good. But it's making this fucking crazy ticking noise. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, I come up with some bullshit story to tell my mom, like, oh yeah, I was at the fucking McDonald's and they hit the drive-through weird and it fucking, I don't know, So,
Mom, it made the noise.
yeah, I'm a fucking little punk ass kid. So it's, we
Like
take it.
mud all over it and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, that comes into it. So we take it to the mechanic, and the mechanic is a family, place that my
Friend.
mom takes her car to,
An
and now we're
acquaintance.
taking my car to, and he ends up being a really good family friend, exactly. And so he kind of looks at the car, and immediately you could see on his face that he knows what the fuck happened.
His eyes
Because
just
he
start
puts it
right
on the
over to
lift,
you.
and he looks underneath there, and there's like a sandbox worth of dirt. The fucking, I guess what I ended up doing is I broke 2 out of 3 motor mounts.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And that was the ticking, was a lot of shit not being aligned. And I was down on power because, well, the motor's moving. And so he kind of plays it off. I have to give him credit. He plays it off very smoothly with my mom. He kind of goes like, well, yeah, there's definitely some impact underneath there. And I think maybe there was some grass or dirt in the planter that he hit. Looking at me, giving me the fucking eyebrows.
Dude, the fucking darts. Just
Giving
like
me the
side
fucking
eye.
eyebrows. I think there was some dirt or some grass that he was that he had hit in that McDonald's drive-through. And I kind of give him the nod. And so we ended up, obviously getting the car fixed and all that kind of shit. And so that leads me into another story. So once this thing's fixed and I'm starting to kind of figure out my shit, I'm 16 years old. I'm a kid that is driving years before kids are allowed to really be driving technically.
Yeah, because you got your license in
I had a full-fledged
Montana.
license. Yeah. And I think this was before it was like 18 and under can't drive with people. So it was like in your first year.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was 15 when I came back with my license. So in a year, we're basically, I'm 16 and I can drive anyone, and I'm in high school, and so now it's like
You're
all
the cool guy.
all the girls want to come hang out and all that kind of stuff. And
It's Kevin with it.
Yeah,
It's Kevin with the
mall.
got
I
his license.
need to go to Victoria's Secret.
Kevin, take me to Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A wasn't out back then.
no, it was not out
Nope.
here at least.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, take me to McDonald's.
So basically, I had a 4-seat. It was a suicide door style with hot seat.
Mhm.
So the bench seat in the back, the
Yeah, but
half
it's like
seat.
it was like the extended cab,
Right.
whatever that meant. But it had the hot seats, and it was like a 5-foot bed,
Okay.
and I had the tonneau cover. So it would be me and my friends in the truck, and then of course the girls would come around and be like, "Oh, we want to go with you." We're going back to my house to get drunk or high or something stupid. And so many a time I would just tell the girls, hey, well, you can get in the back. Well, actually, I didn't suggest this at first. They suggested it. I'm going to be honest. They're like, well, you've got a cover on the bed, right? I'm like, yeah. I was actually somewhat of I was doing stupid shit, but I was still
you're still like
smart enough not to get into trouble.
Conscious.
Yeah. I was like, I have common sense. This doesn't make sense, but
you were kind of like the worst kind of kid in a way because like you still got into shit, but you made sure that you didn't get in trouble.
I was really good at covering my tracks. Exactly.
Hey, you know what? As long as you know how to not get caught.
If you don't get caught, you didn't do it. You know?
I suppose that's the way that it goes.
If a tree falls in a forest and doesn't get caught.
Never made a noise. So I would drive around my town with like 6 or 7 girls in a S10 short, normal bed with a tonneau cover.
That sex trafficking?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Imagine a can of sardines, but it's just women.
Yeah. And they're at the age where like they're starting to dress slutty and shit. So yeah, you open this tonneau cover and it's like 6 skirts and like tube tops.
It's literally like peeling the top.
Themselves.
Freaking awesome.
It was dope, dude. It was fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Sealed for freshness.
Oh my god.
The best part is you would take a turn a little hard or something because I'm still a kid. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. So I take a turn a little hard and be like, ah! You can just hear it screaming.
Yeah, you'd hear this. Just
yeah, we get there.
Oh fuck. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, that was always fun. And it was always sketchy too, because we would go to places like, we'd go to McDonald's. And so like I'd have to like wait for people not to be in the parking lot to see me like open up the tonneau cover and like 6 like young women getting out of the back of my truck. And it's just
They just want food or something.
It's literally easier to do a fucking drug deal than sneak 6 chicks out of your truck.
Yeah, fucking bitches are hungry. I don't know what to tell you.
I said get back in the truck.
Dude, the fucking McRib's back. What do you want from me?
They just all come out hiding for the McRib.
Yeah,
I
dude,
don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't get pulled over.
The
Shamrock shake.
Shamrock shake, yeah.
I had a experience in that truck. The first time I took mushrooms, I had to take a buddy back to.
All of our car stories.
Yeah, well, in our town, sometimes you just got to do drugs.
Yeah,
but I had to take a guy. I was actually very close to my current house. I was in Westlake, and someone needed to get back to Malibu Lake.
Oh.
And I had just taken mushrooms, and I didn't quite understand what was going to occur. And so I was the dude with the truck. I was the one that can drive. Like it's like me and like one other person at that time. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, dude. I don't give a shit. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I'm driving down the street, and I get to the stoplight, and the stoplight, everything, the sidewalks, the curbs, everything has a green shell around it.
Oh.
Like a translucent green shell.
Aura, you mean?
So the red light looks like a green light. Thank God I was driving long enough to know that the bottom stop, top, go,
How are we all
bottom
alive?
go.
That's how my dad does it because he's colorblind.
Right.
But-
Whatever.
Are you colorblind?
Somewhat.
Are you really?
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit?
But yeah, so
What's it
fortunately,
like to be genetically a bitch?
I don't know. Let's arm wrestle and talk about it.
So I ended up
Oh
driving
my
all the way
God.
back Malibu Lake.
Seminole vesicles.
Yeah, Malibu Lake is off Canaan. It's kind of like Decker. It's just this crazy fucking road, and like it's dark and everything's weird. And I've never been there. And I'm listening to some other kid who's on some other drug telling me how to get to his house. And then I've got to get back by myself. And this is before you could plug an address into your phone and get GPS coordinates.
No, you needed like MapQuest.
It was like to get to a party. It was like, all right, so I'm at this light. Like, what do I do next? Like, you just hang out on the phone for 15 minutes when you drove to this party.
Yep.
But yeah, so I ended up getting him there, and that was a crazy experience. I guess I'll cap it off by just telling the story of how the S10 died.
Okay.
The death of the S.
I don't know that wait. Have I heard this? I might have heard this story.
Shit, man,
Probably
that's a great point. I didn't even tell how the fucking Tibby died.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
I missed out.
So the S10.
We'll have to do a recap.
Exactly.
Oh, I have a special story of how the Nissan
Yes,
died.
they-
We'll do another.
Yeah, definitely.
So the S10, I was leaving off Canaan again because that was my stomping grounds, I guess. I was not on drugs or drunk at the time.
That's surprising.
I had gone. Well, hold on.
Wait.
My lawyer has advised me.
Yes. So I had gone back to my house to check in with my mom and let her know that I was going to be at a buddy's house watching movies and eating popcorn like usual.
Popcorn was code for mushrooms.
That sounds like a fib to me.
Yeah. So
Dude, I know your mom. She knew exactly what you were doing.
she was, yeah,
Kind of.
yeah,
She's
she
a
knew
great
what's up.
woman.
Shout out to Barb Hyatt. Hi, Barb.
Barb.
Oh, Barb.
Oh, Barb.
Let's not go into those Barb stories. But anyway, so yeah, so
I got a couple Barb stories for you.
oh, Jesus Christ. So I'd gone back to my house and told the lie that I tell every night on the weekend. And I was driving back to my buddy's house to probably indulge in the plethora of drugs and
Illicits.
debauchery.
As you do. Yeah.
And I'm driving up this road, and I'm actually driving up Canaan. And I remember looking up at the stop sign and being, or the stoplight, and being like, oh, it's green. And looking down at my speedo, because I'd gotten a ticket like a week or two earlier, and being like, all right, cool, I'm doing 40. And then looking back up at the light as I was about to go through the intersection, and there's a big old black truck that ran the left-hand
shit.
turn sign or light, and
T-bone.
boom, not T-boned, fucking
Head on.
head on. So
like corner
corner to corner,
Yep.
exactly. He was
Okay.
making the left, and I was coming straight, and
Yep.
we fucking touched tips.
You fucking want to dock up there, bud?
So I'm just gonna say right now,
That's the title of this episode. Touching tips with Kevin.
the 2000 whatever S10 airbags are made of silk, in my opinion, because those were super duper comfy.
It was just
I
like,
think that's.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Have you seen the My Pillow commercial?
I've never been
Imagine
more
that.
relaxed in my life.
Yeah. So it turns out that the gentleman that had run the light was actually a buddy of mine that
Oh, shit.
I partied with a bunch. I'm not going to give his name out to save the innocent, but yeah, we knew each other. We got out of the truck, and it was kind of like, oh, it's you. Oh shit.
We should both run.
What is
Now-
see each other like
Now,
this.
I had mentioned
Christ.
that I was sober at the time, but I had not mentioned that I was carrying a large amount of narcotics in my vehicle.
Oh,
God,
shit.
Kevin.
And it all unfolds.
Yeah,
This is
so
how we all go down.
The
you know?
layers
some,
of the
some
onion.
cop listens
this was
to
a
this.
long time
Yeah,
ago.
no, this was
Statute of
And
limitation.
I've done my
Long
nickel.
time.
You can come fucking try to get me. No,
Shit.
so yeah, I had a large amount of narcotics in the car. So I get out of the car. Well, I try to get out of the car, and my driver door is fucking jammed. So I kick open the passenger door, and when I go to step out of the vehicle, my knees buckle underneath me because my kneecaps had hit underneath the
Oh,
steering wheel
fuck.
Because you're too tall.
because I'm too tall, Jones. And,
TK.
and so
Tall
immediately,
Kevin.
immediately the guy that had hit me is there, surprisingly, and he like kind of catches me, and he's like, oh dude, thank God it's you, I'm so fucking drunk right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
man.
so I'm like, oh, that's good to know. Cool, well, go ahead and let go of me because I need to go figure out what I'm going to do with my fucking truck before the cops get here. And we can hear the sirens at this point. You know, it's like within 20 seconds the
Yeah.
cops are fucking on their way.
Especially
Yeah, well,
in that area.
It
Yeah.
also happened to be
Yeah.
that this intersection, another buddy of mine lived at, and his aunt lived there, and she was super fucking cool. So he comes out because he hears the commotion. He sees who it is, who he's friends with both of us. He goes, "Oh fuck!" and he knows what I do, and he's like, "Hey, you got anything in the car?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, bud?"
I'm gonna stick
like,
this
"Dude,
over
I mean,
here."
I was young enough at this point. I was like throwing my cigarettes in the bushes, throwing all the lighters that I got with my cigarettes in the
Oh.
bushes. Like I was a fucking afraid of everything.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
he sure as shit, he comes out, he grabs all my crap, gives it to his aunt. And this is like, I handed this dude a fucking felony, like hard. And they fucking take it from me. They don't take anything from me. They gave
Don't
it back
ask
to me
any
a couple
fucking
days later.
questions.
Like it was fucking awesome.
Wow.
But anyway,
That's a good fucking friend right there.
yeah. So the cops come. They, hey, well, you're lucky to be alive because technically when we see accidents like this, we expect at least one fatality, if not both fatalities. And this was the car that hit me was a lifted 1500 Ram.
Gotcha.
And I was in a
Damn.
lowered S10. So yeah, thank
That
God.
Would have been.
Yeah.
Could have been very different.
Most likely the build of the S10 and your buddy being drunk and being loose. You were the lucky one who would have survived that, and the other fucking dude with being loose, being drunk, is the only reason he survived that.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 3 guys in the car. They all fucking booked it the minute the thing
Of
happened
course.
and all that shit. But
Like, what did I say? Cockroaches, like when you open up a fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Scatter! You scatter!
so that was the end of the S10, and man, that thing got fucked up. It was crazy.
It's-
Or
yeah.
S10.
It's nice when you get good use, though, out of your first car.
Yeah, it had definitely taken me from
Served its
innocence
purpose.
to sin
Yeah,
real
that's
quick.
Right.
So yeah, that's my story. And I think we got another one coming your way. So stick with us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for my extra short car story. We want you to reach out at Twitter and Instagram at customer_states, Facebook at facebook.com/customerstatespodcast, and email us with your questions and queries at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com. And once again, thank you very much for joining us, and we will talk to you again. Peace.